Yes.
All right, you guys. So I've had a million questions about tail bags, and I have lots of different brands that we've purchased. We've tried the braid-in tail bags. They're just really honestly a pain in the ass. So one thing that we've been doing lately are just these socks. My favorite brand are these, and you can see this one is one that unfortunately got tore up, but in everybody's defense, it was on squirt. And Pepper decided that he didn't need a tail bag and proceeded to rip it out. So better the tail bag than the tail. But these are actually my favorite brand, and they are Cashel. Cashel? Is it Cashel?
I say Cashel.
It's Cashel.
We can make it fancy though. Cashel.
It's Cashel. It's Cashel brand. They sell them in red, burgundy, black, and leopard. I bought probably 50 of the leopard ones. You'll see that 90% of my horses have these in either red or leopard. No, more like 99.9%. So this bag makes a lot of noise. This horse can't tolerate a ton of noise. So this is a Slinky.
Lyrica.
Yep, it's just fabric and it makes no noise. Like, it's still scary to him, but that one makes a real sh noise. And normally they've got some fringe that hang off the bottom. There's just a lot going on. So I'm just going to use a very basic tail sock. It ties at the top. You can do tails two ways. You can either, one, do them with tape at the end. Most people do. I'm going to ban his because we actually rebraid more often than most people do. So if you rebraid every 2 or 3 days, you can use rubber bands. You can bag a tail and leave it for 10 to 14 days with absolutely no issues. And if you're going to do that, you want to use tape. We actually have tail tape, don't we? Do you know where we put it?
Oh yeah, there's a lot in there, and I think the open roll is in my car.
You want to grab them?
Yeah.
I'm going to sit you guys right here so that she can grab those real quick. I'm just going to sit you guys on this shelf and talk to you guys for just a second about some products that we really love. I hope you guys can see me because I have you front camera, so I can't see like I normally can, but we'll hope for the best. So a couple of things. Normally when we catch the horses and we start to clean them up, the first thing we do, if it's within cool months, we do shampoo, condition the tail. We shampoo it really good, then we condition it, and we let it dry before we braid it. Right now with this time of year, we don't have to do that. It's a little bit cold. So what we've been doing is taking a product called Showstopper, which is a spray that comes from CEP. It's called CEP Showstopper. I know we have the refills in there. There's a couple of...
Almost out of the refill.
Yeah, so we buy the half-gallon refills, and we just buy these little sprayers. Sometimes they're sent to us. This is just something somebody found on Amazon. You can see it says CEP Showstopper. So what I do with it first is I take the CEP Showstopper. You can come back here, Jess, if you want. We're organizing today, so you're going to see or hear a lot going on. So this Showstopper, I really like to get around the tailbone, and you want to part the tail out so that you really get...
See how shiny that looks?
It does look super shiny. So what I like to do is really make sure the tail is saturated because this has a lot of conditioning properties in it, and do the ends of the tail. Now, once I do that, we have lots of different brands of brushes we like. These have been our favorite lately. They're really good when you have a really dirty tail. You can see where it just pulled the mud out but didn't pull a lot of tail. These come off of Amazon. They're not super expensive. They just say made in Vietnam. They look like this. Once you kind of get a tail clean and you get a tail to where you're just trying to maintain it, these brushes like this are a really good option. This is a BioMane one that came with some of our BioMane products that people really like.
It's all the frizzies out too.
It does get all the frizzies out.
He's my butt.
Yeah, he's a little different about his booty, so I mean, just be prepared. Now, what I like to do is to really just kind of let that saturate into the tail and get the tail pretty wet because, like I said, the Showstopper has a lot of like conditioning properties and detangling properties. Now, once I get that done, I am going to... Is there a main eviction right here?
Oh, there should be, yeah.
So, before I braid, put my tail sock up there and scare him to death. It's fine. He's fine. I'm fine. Now, this is one of my favorite products in the world. It doesn't do as good in the cold weather because it's got a lot of coconut oil in it. So if it's been cold, yeah, it's been cold. So if it's ever been cold, normally I just take this part off
Finesse it out.
and just make it, force it out.
Very interested.
He is very interested. There we go. Now, I will just run this through the parts of the tail that I'm going to braid. Man, I love this stuff. Like I said, it's fine. And if it's been cold, it'll thaw back out. No problem. You just have to give it time. And this one froze, but that's not anybody. We know that. Anytime
In 10 minutes,
have,
it'll probably be normal.
yeah. Anytime you have a product, though, that has a lot of real ingredients, and what I love about it is it doesn't have a lot of preservatives or anything. It's really just a lot of coconut and a lot of conditioning properties. Those products don't handle the cold as well. And they said, like, the only way that they could stop it from doing that was to change the formula. But then you start adding things that aren't so good for the hair.
Yeah.
So it's better to just know to keep that product in your house. And then if you're going to go groom, take it with you. So I always part the tail, obviously, in 3 places. You want to find the base of the tailbone and then scoot down. Just like here's the base of his tailbone. And I'm going to scoot down here to start braiding. You never want your braid to be tight at the base of their tailbone because it causes itching. So I don't want him to scratch this tail out. I mean, obviously it's a long, pretty tail. I'm just going to braid it as close to the bottom as I can. And people ask us all the time, why do we bag the tails? Well, on my trading horses and my horses that are going to go to auctions and they're going to go places.
He was eating your hair.
But you're a nut. I know. That's effort. He's not mad either. He's like this. So I'm going to put this bag in this horse's tail because, like I said, he can't hardly stand the sounds of the other one. He's a little different on the ground, but we like him. He's actually one of my favorite horses, as long as he's not getting loose and running off to the back.
Trying to make friends with nukes.
He only does it once a day around here. So you just find a part at the top of the braid. Again, you want to make sure it's a weight. Like here's the tailbone up here. I'm going to come
like
down.
An inch down at least.
Yep, you just don't want to go to the very top of the braid. You're just going to pull this through. I always just snug it, come all the way around, back to the front, and then I just tie a bow. Now these do not stay, unfortunately, as good. They never have. They never will.
And those little things will stretch out sometimes.
I take a rubber band after I've braided it, and I couple behind the bow I tied. I find that that's going to help this to stay in 100 times better. It's just a little trick I learned from a reining trainer. That way his tail that was almost to the ground now is off the ground. A couple of things that I want to notate that you guys may not know that's really important. Once horses' tails get to this part of their ankle, like I said, he is jumpy and goosey. Whoa. Listen, now I'm going to do it just to make
I know. Good boy, boy.
All right. He's fine.
He says, I'm not, though. I'm not fine.
Isn't he funny about everything? Look at him shake.
That's crazy, though. He's already, like, not trying to pick it up and just keep moving. He's a smart boy.
Yep. Oh, God. Other leg. Now touch my other leg. He's like, why is she attacking me like this? You need it. Okay, so I just have a theory that really quiet people make spooky horses, and really spooky people make quiet horses. And unfortunately, Diablo here has landed in the barn of a bunch of really spooky humans. And he's trying so hard to be quiet. And he's not naturally, he's just not naturally fucking quiet, you guys. He has just been raised in a feedlot where they rope you to catch you. They drag you up to the trailer. They saddle you. They use the absolute shit out of you. And then they throw you back out with the herd of horses at the end of the day without brushing you off or grooming you. And so he cannot process the concept that somebody wants to fuck with him outside of just using the dog piss out of him. Like, if you saddle him and go to put in a full day's work, best horse in the entire world. You want to do anything besides go put in a full day's work, he's kind of a piece of shit. And it's not his fault, so we're just having to, you're fine, you're fine, you're fine, we're fine. It's fine. We're both fine. Look, he's like, okay. All right. Got that? We're good? Oh, that's nice. Nice. Now this one. Thank you. He's like, okay. All right. Jesus Christ, she's touching me in all the weird places. And I'm like, I really am. I mean, I like it. I like it. I'm just going to give you scratches.
How many people knew not to put your tail bag upright on the horse's tailbone?
That's so important. I have seen more than one person come to work here. Just we need to get the ivermectin after him. He's got kids.
Okay. So someone asked,
lots a lot of times.
Explain the purpose of the tail bag. I think we started on that and then drifted off.
Here decided he just didn't want any part of his back legs fucked with.
Yeah.
We're just not going to accept that. We're just not.
No, we love tail bags. We would appreciate mane bags too for
And
nukes.
not be yeeted. Don't yeet me. Okay.
He's like, you're yeeting me. What do you mean?
He's just got to get over it. I mean, it's just not acceptable. Like, I mean, it's not that I don't understand. Here's what I tell people. I can understand why they are the way that they are. Call a spade, and not feel like it's acceptable behavior. I understand why the horse acts the way he does. I'm not fucking mad about it. But it's not acceptable behavior here, and we are not going to tolerate it. And that's where I think I get in trouble with a lot of people, because a lot of people want to give me every excuse in the world. Well, Tara, the horse acts like that because I don't give a fuck why he acts like that. I understand better than anybody. I'm the only one on this property that'll deal with his dumbass. Jess is like done. She's like,
I don't like them.
I don't like him. He's like, run me over. Like, so sometimes when you open the stall door, he just tries to escape because he's been roped so much in his life to be caught. So now when you open the stall door, he's like, ha ha, fucking out of here. Now if you can get your hands on him before he plows out the gate, he's caught. So I'm the only one that'll go in the stall. Yeah, we need to get the ivermectin for sure. These horses that come out of the feedlot a lot of times have ticks on them, and we can clean them up when they first get here, but you have to remember that ticks lay eggs, and then 2 weeks later we have ticks again. So what we do, and this is the stuff that people don't want to talk about, like people want to pretend, like I see horse traders that trade high-end horses, buy horses from the same places we do, and then 4 months later, 5 months later, they put a lot of work into those horses, and they bring 50,000, 100,000, 250,000. This horse right here is going to be a fantastic horse. You guys are just going to get the privilege of seeing it from day one. You guys saw him when he unloaded off the trailer, and now you'll see him as I smash ticks off of him. And every horse trader in America has this problem, not just us. Anybody that goes to the sell barns has this problem.
Or anyone who has horses in a pasture where there's ticks.
Yeah, well, when the vet comes,
it's even like a California problem.
Well, when the vet comes, we'll tube worm him with ivermectin this Wednesday, and that'll kill the remainder of them. And that way we don't have to pick them off of him. We tube worm all the horses that we keep.
Yeah.
I always suggest that you guys tube worm your horses that you purchased from us, because it's like $30. And they put concentrated levels of ivermectin and Panacure directly in the gut. It's more wormer than you can buy anywhere else. It's the same amount of wormer as like a Panacure Power Pack, but also an ivermectin. And they put it directly in the gut. And what it does is it allows all these ticks to die off. Here. It allows all of the bots. And
no more eggs, nothing.
What is it?
No more eggs, nothing.
Yes,
dead.
No more eggs, nothing. So by the time the horse gets to your property, all of this is taken care of. But people don't always listen, and they want to act like, this is what I get tired of. People act like it's something that is done here. Like, oh, their horses have ticks. 90% of the horses that we buy at the sell barn have ticks. So what we do is we just heavily use ivermectin because that kills the ticks. You're not going to buy livestock out of auction barns and not have those problems. The thing is, most people just never see it because they bought horses that have been through a horse trader. Somebody else is already taking care of the problem. What are you laughing about, Jess?
Effort, right behind you, just twisting his head all around trying to get your hair. He's like, we can do a braiding circle.
I think he would probably just munch on you.
Yeah.
Listen. So I have a good story about this horse. He went through a couple of sell barns. He sold an Atala They made Atala take him back. And then
That's
they sold him
effort.
at Opelousas, and Jacob bought him off of the Stanleys. So he sold at Atala. Whoever bought him didn't like him. Called Mitch, made Mitch take him back. So Michael took him to Opelousas. And when Jacob bought him, Michael turned around and mouthed off, "You'll fucking like that one! Ha ha ha! I got you!" And like literally, he's our favorite horse in
Yeah.
the entire world.
Effort's amazing.
I'm like, I don't know.
I feel like he's at like a good point too, where he can be pointed in any direction. He's just gonna be badass.
Mom, shut the fuck up.
No.
You know what Jacob said yesterday? He did fucking get me. I still own him and you won't sell him. And I'm like, next time you see Michael Stanley, Jacob, tell him, you know what, man? You did get me fucked by my wife a lot because she has an IOU on that horse, and I have to put out a lot to keep him around here.
Yeah.
Just like it's right.
Effort's one of our favorites.
I added to the IO Daddy booty tab. He said, "Excuse me, Cheyenne, you have to." He said, "Hey, I see you over there." You look at him. He's like, "Who's got the cookies?" Sorry. I just love him. All right, now back to my asshole here. So, listen, Diablo is a fantastic animal. He just has zero communication skills. He has no fucking clue how to communicate with a human. All he knows is that when you put the saddle on him and you get on his back, he needs to go do work. You can rope bulls, you can drag bulls, you can put shit in the arena. Like, we found out very quickly that he was not green. We thought he was a green broke horse because of his behavior. You know, like, the way this thing is like super broke, right? No, he's like broke fucking to death. He just doesn't have any ground manners or understanding. He finally stands tied up. This was new. This was not a thing.
It's a nice trade, nookie for horses. Yes.
He's like, "Can you please stop? Just stop." He's like, "I don't want to kick you. I don't want to kick you either."
I like how calm he stays with it though. I mean, he obviously isn't
He does
comfortable,
now.
but yeah,
He
he's
does now. Like, he's learning that humans are fucking idiots. And
yeah, he's like, they're not gonna hurt me. They
They're
really
not
do
gonna
just
hurt
give me
me.
cookies. Yeah, look at that.
I
Oh,
will say
he
this.
stopped right as
So-
I put the camera on his face.
Yeah. So I have now bagged his tail, and I put it off because the first time I bagged him, I put a leopard bag, and the first time he swished it and saw it, and it was like multicolored with fringe, he was like running around the stall, and like, knocked the water bucket off the stall, and was like running in there. So I didn't bag his tail till today. I feel like we're in a better place. And the thing is all horses that come out of sale barns are probably going to have ticks. So my suggestion is to have your vet tube worm with ivermectin. It's about the only way that you're going to get them off.
Do we
The
have
good
the?
news is that 90% of ticks that live on horses are not Lyme disease-based ticks, and we don't see that a lot from especially from the states up north. We just don't see it. So, I mean,
Do we have an ivermectin tube we can show them?
an ivermectin tube.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you can give ivermectin in the mouth and help.
Yeah, it
but
won't be
you
the
need a
same.
tube worm. Like, you really need a tube worm. Like, you can't give enough ivermectin that's like
Orally, that would make a
Yeah,
change.
because it's so like, just come show them. I mean, oh, fuck, stick, stop. So you can see all these spots right here where ticks were, where we wormed him already, and they've fallen off. But now look, here's a baby tick. Here's a baby tick. But you can see where there were, when he got here, we wormed him, but the wormer was not enough to kill, like, the eggs. So you want a tube worm. It's just part of it. Like, I don't really give a shit what
He
people...
says, thank you. Thank you, people.
The thing is, it's like, people talk shit, you know, that, like, oh, their horses have ticks. All horses from sale barns do. I'm just tired of people not educating the public. The reason the public says things like that is because most people hide it. Most people don't want to talk about it. They don't want to be like, oh, I bought horses and that horse has ticks. Because then you're going to have a Karen that'll say, oh, well, all your other fucking horses are going to get them. Actually, truth be told, with horses, if their immune system is really good and you worm like you're supposed to, horses shouldn't get ticks. And if your horses have ticks, it's a sign that they need to be wormed with ivermectin. And that's something people don't want to talk about. Like, oh, well, horses in pastures get ticks. Okay, well, you need to hit them with 2 or 3 ivermectin. It's fine. I'm not trying to play
Yeah, I know.
Phoenix.
He's like, my junk. Oh, rape.
Oh, that's just a scab from where he had ticks before. But he had ticks, and so before I put him in the barn, I wormed him pretty heavy. He's just got him again. But he came from Montana, so it's kind of normal up there. Like it's, actually I think he originated out of South Dakota and then was sold in Montana. And I'm just going to tell y'all, this is part of buying horses at the sale barn. Okay.
Hey, Tara.
I think I got Mr. Mock. What is it?
I think she has to go to her high school rodeo
You do?
practice.
Yes. Okay.
Thank you. I'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Okay, so what you guys need to understand is that. You good? He's like, I'm good.
He's like, I kind of feel better now.
I mean, he has to.
He's spreading his cheeks back there. You're like a freaking treasure hunt in his ass.
Well, you gotta get the ticks off.
Oh, gosh.
She's like, let's call in my concho.
We just lean down and get to spreading them. Like, what?
He's just got lots of bumps where he has
Oh,
ticks and then
no.
died. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna fuck your world up. I'm just trying to get the bugs off of you. See, he doesn't want to hurt me. He just doesn't know.
Yeah.
So anyway, his tail is long enough that the other day when I was doing groundwork with him and I started backing him up off of me and he kind of tucked his butt to back up, his tail is long enough he stepped on his tail. So there's several reasons that you bag a tail that are not for vain reasons. If your horse's tail is to the bottom of his ankles or further, when he sets down to back up, he can step on this tail, and it only takes one time of ripping tail out and a horse won't back out of a trailer anymore. I've bought horses that they tell you it won't back out, you have to turn it around. Some of them maybe just don't back out, but I had a horse that looked like this and his name was Sly's Golden Rocket, and his tail always drug the ground. One time at a barrel race, I didn't have it braided, he went to back out and he jerked a big chunk out of it, and it took me probably 6 months to get him to ever back out of a trailer again. And it was because he stepped in his tail, he jerked it out. If you ride a horse with a long tail, I understand that when you show you can't bag them, but if you're practicing, you should have their tail bagged or at least braided and tied, because it's really not acceptable for you to want their tail to be that long, but then not protect them from being able to hurt themselves with it. Like, that's the part of it that people don't think. See, in the wild, it's not really an issue because they swish their tail so much in the brush and brumble that, plus I don't think horses in the wild just spend a lot of time
With a star party.
backing up. So it's important, I think, to do this. Now, one thing I'm going to show you guys, we've started doing some groundwork with him, so we're going to step outside with him. And again, the girls are in the background and they're trying to start to organize everything, so it's, I mean, I've had enough of the disarray, so. Have you seen my stick?
The purple one?
Yeah.
It's on the cart.
Okay.
I'm
gonna swap his halters out.
He's like, I would, and the cookie.
I trust him none, so she's getting cookies as I swap his halters because do we trust Diablo not to run off to the back of the property? No.
I didn't think about that. I just really was like, he wants a cookie.
Oh,
I know he wants a
you
cookie.
let me-
No.
before you,
I think at this point in his life, he's so like, I've just been molested. He won't be running nowhere.
He really doesn't think it's funny. He's like, listen, stop making rape jokes.
Oh, goodness. Bear dog, no. You're not involved in this one, buddy.
Bear, don't you come help me right now.
He's like, you said training.
You go on. All right, you guys.
All right.
So, Diablo here. Diablo here doesn't have a lot of idea about how humans operate. And it's not because Diablo doesn't what I've been doing with him lately is just a lot of this. Like you can see with the stick, he's a little bit better because he now knows, like, oh yeah, she's gonna touch me all over with it. So I try really hard to kind of just get him to where you can touch him all over.
I think you kind of like that one with the chest.
Yeah.
said he's been really hard teaching the lunge. Oh, send stars, everybody. 2 minutes left. Send stars. Yeah, so this took Tara a while to get him going this easy lunging.
Yeah, he still is not fantastic the other direction. You know how long it took? Like, I know this seems very simple that he comes right to me for a pet. This was not like, I could tell him low, and the first day I really wish I would have showed y'all because you would appreciate this, because the first day I was like, whoa! I said, whoa! And he was
not getting it.
no. He
Let's
did not
see.
want to come to me. He was afraid of me.
So we're still having a little work this way.
This direction.
Just constant work with it. There we go. See, she's sticking kind of between his shoulders and his hips.
He really wants to be abrasive with his shoulders and push on you.
Yeah.
And since he wants to be abrasive and push with his shoulder, you have to be a little bit more.
She's saying he really wants to be abrasive with the shoulders, so you have to be a little bit more aggressive getting him to go and get him off of you. Look at that.
And this right here today is so much better than normal. Normal, I can get him to kind of stop, but him facing me is a big deal because he didn't want to. In
Yeah.
fact, he wanted to kind of stay off. Like, you could tell he had been roped a lot. Because when you would do this little thing right here with him, he would duck his ears down, and he would expect that you were going to rope him.
There's so many little things you guys can do like this for your horses that would literally help them step miles forward.
I don't know that this is a thing, but after I do something that challenges their brain a little bit and I stop it, I always make them step to me. Like, this is the circle of trust. And I don't see a lot of other people really do that. I don't know. I think it's because a lot of people really work on keeping them out of your space because they probably... Back up. Back up. Back up. I think they deal with a lot of horses that are probably really pushy. Like, the opposite. Like, I see a lot of people that go to clinics and stuff because their horse is like biting their fingers and running them over and doing all of the like disrespectful, I have no boundaries. And I deal with a lot of horses that are like fucking terrified of you. So anytime I ask them to do something, I want them to come to me a little bit and relax. Like right here next to me is no work.
I feel like it's good, like positive reward.
I mean, that's one thing I do. See him take a breath. Like,
Yeah.
I want him to come to me and to know that, like, in our little circle of trust here, like, meet the Fockers. This is
Safe.
the circle of trust.
Relaxing.
Yeah, it's relaxing. There's not a lot.
Yeah.
But if we get outside this circle, there's going to be more work. So, and I think mentally it reinforces, like, come to me. It's no
Yeah.
work. But if you go away from me, I'm going to run you around the pasture till your dick's in the dirt. Then you can come to me. Because he was impossible to catch when we got him.
Yeah.
In fact, he was so hard to catch in the stall that more than once he has run out of the stall and taken off on this property. And we like run in the stall and like gotten out, and we're having to like chase him to the point that one night Jess just caught him in an empty pen and was like, fuck it, we'll deal with it tomorrow. Because he had run for like an hour from us. And none of us are handy with a rope, which means nobody was going to rope his.
I don't know if we even have one no more. I wouldn't want to try.
You know what I love about this? Y'all see him trying to yield his hindquarters?
Yeah.
And I'm not the best at
Yeah.
this. I mean,
He's
it's
trying
not
really hard to yield his hindquarters for her.
and
Oh,
I'm
see?
not, you guys look, I'm not having to pull on his head.
Yeah. Look at that slack right there.
So what I look for, I'm sure there's going to be like 55 fucking Clinton Anderson gurus and a Pat Pirelli fucking bitch. And, yeah. That's not me. I probably what I look for is not what they look for. And they're going to be like, that's not how you do that. And I'm like, that's fine. You own your livestock. You fucking go like desensitize them your way.
Yeah.
I deal with shit that will hurt you. Fuckstick here tried to hurt us. several
Yeah.
times. And now we have an animal that no longer tries to fight back. I'm
Yeah.
Before I could tell you that this right here would have been a bad deal, and there's no way that I could have had all this slack and he stayed with me, because the moment I fucking touched him with this, he would have jumped and then kicked. So I would have never given him the opportunity to get this far strung out on the lead rope to where he could get his ass in far enough away from me to kick me and hurt me. Can they hear me okay?
Some people couldn't before, but when you step closer, I think it's better.
So for me to be able to have all this slack, and you can reiterate, for me to have all this slack and him to stay with me willingly and yield his hindquarters without being afraid.
Yeah, so you guys see this slack and him yielding his hindquarters, no problem.
But before, I couldn't give him slack because he would have run to the end of it and then kicked at me.
Yeah.
So I'm just really proud that like he wants to stay with me. Like this to me is a partner.
Yeah. He's like, okay, safety. Safety is here with my human.
Now I will reprimand one like where he rushed and got in my space. And that's the thing is, I feel like if you're just clear and concise that this is the circle of trust, but you also can't stand on me, there's a happy medium there.
See, the slack never got tight right there at all.
My problem with him is this right here is something that I've learned from the other day. It just doesn't register to him for some reason. Like it never has to. Like that just really, for him, that's not quite registered. You know. I don't know why, but we'll keep working on it. But
Have our dog not even looking as she's about to get stepped on.
he's learned that this, I mean, and I can back him up with just a little bit of pressure, but he, for whatever reason, has never registered.
He's like, come, is that what this means?
No.
Yeah, he's just not too sure yet.
So that hasn't registered yet. I'll just keep working on it. But what I don't want to get is so fixated on the one thing that he's not picked up that I lose excitement and I lose joy in all the things he has learned. And I see that. Like, there are people that'll be like, huh, well, I saw he can't even back up. There he goes.
Oh, look at, we're already getting better.
Yeah, and so every day towards the end, it's like see, he wants to walk out of it.
Yeah.
And I'm telling y'all. I'm not looking at him and I'm not calling for him, so he's going to stay in his space. Nice. But if I call for him to come, I want him to come on. You know, it's just little things that I try to, but like I said, I don't want to get so fixated on the couple of things he doesn't do right that I lose sight of how far we've come and just how.
Or get stuck on that one thing and kind of push him too hard.
Keep doing it and keep doing. Like I see people that'll get out here on the ground and just turn this into a fucking job, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, I feel like they don't work well either once they are frustrated, so.
Well, I don't like to turn anything into a job.
Yeah.
Like, this horse knows how to work. He knows a full day's work. I want this right here, and me grooming him and me playing with him to be the easiest thing he's ever had to do. I don't want to make it a job. And if I get so fixated and I just start drilling and drilling and drilling and drilling, and unless they're pretty dangerous, I'm not going to drill on one. I don't
Oh, Debbie, he was roped.
What is it?
He was roped.
Oh, for a long time.
Yeah, to be caught. That's what kind of made him pretty jumpy.
Well, you know, so what was funny is you couldn't get your hands on him, but you could kind of you couldn't get your hands on him, but when you finally did touch him, he just thought he was caught because he had been roped. But you could tell they had saddled him and bridled him with just a rope around his neck because he was a fucktard to get a halter on.
Yeah.
You were almost better to just lead him with a rope around the neck. Like somebody had just roped him, led him up, saddled him, bridled him, and rode off. There was no...
He says, I was a cowboy's horse, a mean one, and I don't like it. he's here.
But he doesn't want to kick. That's nice.
No, I feel like he's not like dangerous. He's just scared.
Well,
New.
no, I think too now he was so good the other day. We worked
Yeah.
him just a little bit, so Tyler's going to trim him this week. And I think he's going to go where he actually is.
Good boy. just hanging there. This is just so different. Like
I'm not in danger anymore.
all of the slack and everything, and he didn't try to leave, didn't even try to take a step forward while she was back there messing with him.
Yeah, it's a whole lot better. And he's going to make somebody a great horse and probably a little over. So this is kind of where we come from the feedlot to the kill pen, because probably anybody at the sale that was looking for like a good horse was terrified of him. They were like, oh God, like, because before you walk in the pen, and I mean, I'm telling you, he would like get in the corner and turn his butt cheek and pick his foot up. Was it?
Yeah.
Diablo.
An angry gremlin.
Listen, you guys, I sent him to Dylan's, and Dylan never got him rode. Dylan never got him rode. He didn't buck. Dylan could not catch him to get him saddled to ride him. And that's the truth. I sent him in Two Crows, and he got Two Crows rode, but Dylan said I never got on the dun horse because I couldn't get him caught, and he was too scary on the ground. And I told him I respect that, like, you can bring him back. So I had Tylen saddle him, and I told Tylen, I don't know, he seems pretty dangerous, but if you want to take him and work with him. Tylen stepped on him and rode him off, and he rode like a million. Super broke horse, super scared on the ground. So I just kind of fucked with him in the barn every day, trying to get him over all that. And like now, you would never believe that he was that bad. So if you buy a horse and the horse doesn't do what you want, I don't blame the horse. I want to know, why haven't you put a month of groundwork into it to make the horse what you want? Like,
Yeah.
don't expect for somebody else to do the hard work and then it transfer to you. You're gonna have to do. Come on, buddy, back up. We're working on it. He said it's me, not him. All right, you guys. I'm gonna call Jacob back.
All right.
All right,
Bye,
guys.
everybody.